Hey, welcome to Chit Chat Podcast. You are on air with your host, Engelic, Valentine Diva Everett. Welcome to another episode of my special podcast. I've got a special guest on air with me and a good friend of mine, Alex Jessica. He is a president for Extreme Advocacy, psychic, life coach, also an advocate for people with disabilities, and an advocate, and an entrepreneur. I'll have the Extreme team on air with me in a later episode. So, who is Alex Jessica?
So I am, as you said, a psychic life coach, an entrepreneur, and advocate for people with disabilities. I'm someone who constantly is looking to improve in all ways, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that, and utilize that to help other people do the same. I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of meditation and energy work and things like that. It's a really awesome journey to allow people to watch them grow, and that's really cool.
It's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we already discussed this, but what have you been up to these days, and how are you dealing with the virus?
So lately I've been doing a lot. I started a directory, Western New York Spirit Buffalo, which is a directory that supports, promotes, and encourages people who are psychic, holistic, and spiritual to become part of the community and to help them get the word out about their business and what they do. So I've been doing that. I've also been doing readings, of course, over Zoom and in person. I also just got a gig at Divination Station, so I'll be reading there every Sunday from noon to 4, unless otherwise specified. And I've been doing a lot of writing and keeping up with that as well. So it's really, really great.
Well, you're doing a whole lot, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, So, what happened to Ask Alex, and will you bring it back in the near future?
It depends. So I've developed over this last year kind of this sense of, if I'm really not passionate about it, I'm not going to do it. And right now, the calling has been to do other things rather than Ask Alex segments. So I'm kind of just following my heart and what brings me the most joy. And by virtue of that, my life has gotten a lot better because I'm directing energy toward, what really brings me joy and motivation versus like feeling obligated to do something. So
I agree about that.
Yeah.
Why is psychic as your career choice?
I've always been intuitive. Even as a kid, I would hear voices that nobody else heard. The phone would ring and I would know exactly who was on the other line. I would know what the weather was before anybody else would, that kind of thing. I had a lot of intuitive experiences growing up, and so I spent a lot of time wondering, like, what is this? Why am I able to do this? And because of that, I was pushed in the direction to study what was going on with me and figure out what it was. And by virtue of that, I realized that I could help a lot of people and realized that I could give them the things I was feeling and seeing, and that those things would happen, either in their present or in their future, or occasionally sometimes in their past. So,
Okay. That's very interesting. In the past? Okay.
Yep.
Do you use tarot cards in your readings?
It depends. Sometimes, if I'm called to use them, I will. If my intuition says, use your tarot cards for this part, or if the client asks for specifically to use the tarot cards, I will. Most of the time, my readings are pretty intuitive, meaning I don't use any tools outside of my own intuition. But if they're requested or if I'm directed in that way to use them, then I will.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a website where people can book readings?
Yes. So you can go to www.alexjusko, that's ALEXJUSKO.com, and schedule a reading with me there if you'd like. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is Alex Jusko, Psychic and Life Coach, and Instagram is at Spirit Coach Alex.
Okay. Which I love your website, by the way. It actually it actually interests me. So it's like, when I was trying to come up with questions, I'm like, oh my God. I'm trying to paste some questions. I'm like, I don't want to have too many questions because this is the podcast.
Right.
It's not like my show.
Right.
My show is kind of direct. It's not really like a podcast per se. So you have like too many sections in the podcast as well too. So
right.
Versus the show, it's kind of direct and to the point. So
right.
Yeah. Now we're going a little. Well, you always said, where can we find you? So you always said that already. So now I'm going to go off topic now and ask you, what is Stream Advocacy?
Stream Advocacy is a social media advocacy group that allows for people to explore social media and their interests as far as becoming people that just want to share their knowledge in whatever form they wish, whether it be Instagram or TikTok, Facebook, or otherwise. And we provide a platform of education and allow for people the ability to share their voice with the world by virtue of the internet. So that's really, really cool.
It's very exciting. I'm actually trying to learn ins and outs of TikTok a little bit. So
yep.
I just cannot get into doing the actual video yet. I have to kind of learn how to do that.
Right.
It
all takes time.
Pictures. So right now.
Yep.
So before I get into doing anything else, what other projects is the group doing with Stream Advocacy at the moment?
Well, being that you're part of that group, Engelic, you should be able to tell us that. But we have a couple upcoming projects. We're going to be working with Heartability Radio to do a couple projects with them, and that's going to be great. So check out heartabilityradio.com. It's really, really great, and it's a great radio station.
And it's actually a good idea that you can say how about heartability, because I mentioned unheartability, which in a later part of my section will be the shout out section. So I will be actually making a shout out to that.
Very cool.
So you know how to make a shout out section for that. So in this part, I'm going to be doing an inspirational quote, which I know that you might like, Alex. So. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. And this quote is by Winston Churchill.
Very cool.
I knew you might like that one.
Yeah, very cool.
Now, this is my positive vibe corner. I always have to have a positive vibe corner in some place, somewhere. So, and this would be a positive, this is a all-around positive question, which is what is something positive in your life that has been going on with you in general?
I've been really enjoying just putting myself out there and really trying to be of service to people. That gives me a lot of joy and a lot of positivity. I also am really happy to be on the show, which also gives me a lot of positivity and joy, as well as all the other projects I'm doing a lot of writing as well, a lot of exploring of different topics and things like that, which is really neat. And I'm really grateful to be here. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I had to have you. So
Yeah.
Now we have a shout out section, y'all, that we kind of already had talked about already, but had to make a shout out to myself, as Alex has said about heart ability. Hey y'all, I want to make a shout out to myself. My internet show, Engelic show, is going auto now this year. You can now listen to it on heartabilityradio.com, or you can go to Live G65 app as well. You can listen to it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Very cool.
So I had to put that out there for all of y'all. So please go over to Heartability and listen to it, or just download the app Live G65 and listen to it as well.
Awesome.
And speaking, since I am a poetry magazine, y'all should come over to the YouTube channel. We will be making some videos for y'all as well too. So make sure you check that out on YouTube.
And come join us as part of the join us as part of the group as well.
Yeah.
So come join us as well.
You heard that, my viewers. You can even come to join us as well if you want to be a part of it. We would love that.
Yep.
Now I got a social media section. You can now use Chit Chat Podcast to like me on Facebook. You can also follow me on Instagram at ChitChatPod14. You can also follow me on TikTok as well at BossLadyE14. I'll be making some TikTok content about my podcast for future months to come. Hey y'all, I've got a special surprise for all of you. I now have an email address for my podcast, which is chitchat.podcastee@gmail.com. And if you want, you can DM me as well. You can DM me as well on Instagram at ChitChatPod14. I am Engelic, and I'll holla right back at y'all next time, and please be safe. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Okay. It's my recording. Oh, duh.